Hello and good evening, good morning, good afternoon from where you're watching us from. This is Dr. Masumutai as usual, and today I'm joined with
Alan Hoy.
And the topic today is hot. And before you watch this, kindly subscribe.
Yeah, subscription is a must because that's the only way you can support us. There's no any other way. We're not asking anything more than that. And once you've subscribed, make sure you share this information with another person who's next to you. The information you're giving is friendly to for a family to watch, mothers, fathers, and their children, and even the people that you stay with. So we're good to go.
We will be giving you all preventive care, all preventive measures, so that you're able to prevent yourself from illnesses, diseases, and any other thing that can make you sick. So ensure you follow us and continue your subscription so that you can be able to prevent yourself and also reduce healthcare costs. So, Alan,
Yes.
what's the topic today?
Today, we're generally talking about the growth within a girl child girls, and what changes comes in, and when these changes come in, what are they supposed to do, or then for how long will they be doing it? We're talking about menstruation.
Oh,
in
menstruation,
general.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
When does it start? Oh, by the way, what is menstruation first before we get to when does it start and what are some?
Okay, menstruation, it's biological, it's natural biology, whereby the uterus, the lining of the uterus shed every month. It's supposed to shed every month once a person, a woman.
Yes, specifically for women.
Yeah,
No
it's
men.
for women.
Okay.
When one girl or a woman gets into the right age, so it begins. It's called menarche. It can begin early depending on the make of someone. Now the body and the hormones. It's what I'm calling the make. So you'll find there are girls who will start at 9 years, others will start at 11, others will start at 16, others will start at 18, depending. And the early the menarche, now the early they start, the early the menopause.
Wait, what unakimbisha syllabus? You're taking it too quick. We'll talk about menopause later. But okay, it's for an introduction, so no problem about. So the early the menarche, you call it menarche.
Yeah, menarche is the start of menstrual flow.
Guys, I know you never known that even before. This is the right time you're getting to understand. That's why we say we have the information you're looking for. Hal us. Okay, so the earlier the menarche, the earlier the menopause. So if you start the menarche at let's say 9 years, the menopause will start.
I'm saying the early the menarche. The early, it's not specific that it's if it's 9 it will start at 40 or at 38.
Okay.
Just know that the early the menarche, the early the menopause. The late the menarche, the late the menopause.
This is the right information for women.
Yeah.
And even for men.
Even for the men to support their women.
Men. Okay.
To support their women. Yeah.
I get it right. Do men really support women in that end?
Yeah, some do. People who understand do, because you get to learn that this is something natural that occur naturally and it's a must, it happens. So it's also good to be aware, because you might have a girl child at your home, you might have a daughter, and the wife
It's not around.
or to be, you can be lucky enough to only have daughters and you'll be the only man. Can you imagine the mood changes in the house and you're all alone?
Okay, so it comes with mood changes. Okay, we get to that later.
Yeah,
what are some things that do happen within a woman's body when that happens and all that? So you said there are some it says at 9, some at
11,
and what is the
14, 16.
late?
The late I've seen it's 23, 24. Yeah.
So people should have no problems when it starts at 23. It's not like they are not human beings. It's not like they are not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to get checked every now and then, because there are other conditions related to the menstruation, but it's also good to get checked early.
Yeah, nowadays I see very many organizations coming up and trying to push to create awareness among the communities that menstruation is a blessing and it's something that it's good and healthy for a girl child. and people should come in to try help and give the necessary support and all that.
Yeah.
I think that's what you talked about when you said that people need to understand and men need to give women support on the same.
Definitely.
So what do you think are some of the supports that are supposed to be given in this area?
Okay, support in terms of understanding. You should be, when you're having a woman going through that, you should, number one, understand. Number two, support them in terms of, because there are others who cramp too much. There are others who have heavy flows. So it's good to be supportive in terms of nutrition, giving analgesic, heat baths.
What are these analgesics?
You can give either ibuprofen, you can give paracetamol, but mostly it's ibuprofen, Buscopan, anything that is antispasmodic or muscle relaxant.
Now that's the language you need to use, muscle relaxant. When you talk all these big words.
The one that is antispasmodic is the one that will reduce cramping,
Mm-hmm.
and a muscle relaxant is the one that will make the muscles to relax.
So what you're trying to say is it comes with its own other challenges, but it comes with its own changes within the body.
Yeah.
There is heavy flows.
It can have heavy
flows,
flow,
cramps.
but it will depend on a lot of factors,
So
because
what are
nutrition,
these factors?
cold, heat, climate, those are the climate change, the cold and the heat. Also the diet, the stress, also some stresses, and also some conditions like adenomyosis or endometriosis. I know most of people have heard about
endometriosis,
but they don't know there is also another condition called adenomyosis,
Yes.
which can also present similar, but it's not severe as endometriosis.
So what is adenomyosis?
Adenomyosis is whereby, you see, we shed the inner lining of the uterus,
Mm-hmm.
that inner wall, it's the one we shed. Now, when that, whatever we shed is within, there's a part of the inner lining. As I was telling you, adenomyosis is when the inner lining is within the uterus muscles, just within the uterus, but it's on the muscles, the myometrium. Now, there's that tissue that goes to the muscle of the uterus, the myometrium. That is what we call adenomyosis, and sometimes it's caused by even the surgical procedures that we often do, go for Sicilian sections. You find that when we're getting sutured, the inner lining is gotten out to the outer one, to the muscles. On the other hand, endometriosis is whereby that muscle or that tissue is outside now the uterus. It's not within the uterus. It's now outside the uterus. It can be in the pelvis, it can be in the intestines, so it can be in different places, but not within the uterus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And I believe this information many people should know, because I've had people fight against endometriosis, but adenomyosis, no, I haven't had most people talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this is the first time I'm hearing someone talk about it, but it's good you've explained now they understand that. Do adenomyosis cause more problems like endometriosis?
It causes also pain. Now, on this other hand, you'll be having chronic pain, chronic pelvic pain, and you don't know where it's coming from, unless now you go either for imaging, you go for biopsy to get checked. Yeah, that's why. You get scanned so that you know what you're experiencing. And that's why I tell people, don't have heavy menses or start having irregular menses, and then you're out there saying it's hormonal imbalance, because most of the clinical setup nowadays, you'll go with irregular periods and then you'll be told, no, it's hormonal imbalance, just take 1, 2, 3. No, you have to do proper checkup. You go to a proper checkup, you do a proper checkup and get to check what's causing that pain and irregular. The long-term effect are usually even infertility, okay, chronic pains that mostly you do not know where they're coming from unless you get investigated or you get proper checkup. So there are a lot of things, and then cramping on the other hand.
Is there any treatment for this one?
Yeah, there are treatments. There are some of the treatments, and most of them are expensive, because at the end of the day, for endometriosis or adenomyosis, you can be told, now we do total hysterectomy. If the pain is too much, that is, the uterus gets removed.
So that means you never have a child.
Definitely.
But once it's removed, you'll be okay.
Once it's removed, if it's adeno, you'll be okay.
And what if it's endometriosis?
For endometriosis, you see the tissues are in different places. So unless we remove those specific tissues.
I believe this information needs to be outside there for people to understand, because we've had homes where there are no children and husbands are really worried about it, and even the ladies cannot explain to why they are not getting children. So might the conditions that you've named be the reasons to why?
It can be, but mostly for you to claim that this family is not getting kids, don't just look at a lady. Be sure even you as a man, you're okay.
Maybe
I'm not saying that niko na kamtoto somewhere. Even that kamtoto might not be yours.
So no, I'm
not saying that. Yeah. Get to check if the vitality, get to check if you're potent. Yeah. Do a semen analysis. Now that's a topic on
its own.
Yeah, infertility is a topic on its own. Yeah.
Okay, so
but it might be a contributory factor of now infertility, but not like saying that this is the only factor.
So how does it look like? How is it for a woman during all this time, menstruation period, like all this long? Because it's something that will stay with you for some years, and does it end?
Yeah, it goes up to menopause.
I know that is more of a layman's question, but I guess there are people who think it continues until you die as a woman.
It goes up to menopause, but even menopause has its own signs and symptoms. So for this time you're having periods, you might have different experiences. There's a time maybe if you're using other factors like those climate change, you have traveled. The other times the weather is too hot. There's other times you're stressed. The other times maybe for per se that what do you call it? You're using a family planning. So there are those factors that can contribute to you having either intense period or not having period at all. So that's why I'm not saying that it's not like ending. But now when you hit menopause, now it's the end of the road. Now I'm getting to another age, and this is what's going to happen to me. But during that time, you might have mood swings, you might have cramping, you might have either heavy menses or not heavy menses. The intensity might change here and there. The duration also might change. If you're seeing a day.
By the way, on the duration thing, I have two questions. One on the duration thing, that people who complain mine takes longer, like 2 to 3 days or 4 days. What might be the problem?
Not literally a problem. There are those that might take long. There are those that might take. There are cycles. For example, there is a person who have a 21-day cycle. That is, after every 21 days, you get your menses. Those are the ones that have regular periods. You know what is regular and what is irregular. So if you have a 21-day cycle, 28, 32, 35, even 35 is also regular. Like every 35 days, you're getting your menses. And now there are others who will have, especially when menarche hits, you will find mama saying, my baby was started periods at 9 years or 11 years, whatever age. And then after 2 months, then it is skipped. It's also okay because these hormones are getting to regularize themselves. Okay? So once the hormone stabilizes, now the periods will come. Now, on the other hand, if these other factors contribute, the one we are saying, the climate change, chronic stress, the family planning, it will also affect on how the regularity is. So it's good to watch out, and before you start on anything, you get to learn if it's going to affect. Now we were talking about other signs and symptoms. So when you come to either cramping and the heaviness of the periods and the duration of the periods, that depends on each and every person. Yeah.
Okay, so it depends with whoever is involved in that, considering all those factors that you've talked about. I have another question that might be out of it, but it's still within that. Ever had a case when someone asked me a question when we were doing awareness on family planning, And someone asked me a question, Daktari, okay, you know, when you're outside there, whether you're a doctor or not, as long as you're wearing that and you're working the healthy field, Daktari is always the title.
Daktari effect.
It's yeah, the Daktari effect is always the title. So someone asked me, Daktari, there is this condition that someone that they know who is pregnant, but they're still receiving their periods. And personally, let me confess, I had no answer to that. I just sent them to the nearest doctor. I told them that is a case that needs doctor's intervention. You kindly go explain yourself. Go let her, tell her to go explain herself to the doctor, and the doctor will find a solution for that problem. Because personally, I had never heard of the same before. Yep.
Now, number one, we don't want to confuse. There are those people who have 2 uteruses, and it's usually very rare. Okay, yeah, you can be born with 2 uteruses, like you have uterus 1 and uterus 2.
Okay.
But it's also very rare. So such case can happen. Number 2, when you're pregnant, whether you have 2 uterus or how many uteruses you have, and you receive bleeding, we call it bleeding, before you say that ni menses, rush to the doctor. Go to the hospital, get a scan first to check, because a scan is able to check what's the issue, what's happening within your uterus. Is it the baby that you're likely to have a miscarriage, or are you having any other thing?
Complications.
Yeah. So that's why it's good first to get checked before we say that it's 1, 2, 3.
Now that's what I told him.
Yeah.
Because it's like it was so rare to me. Like, how can someone be pregnant but still having their menses? Like, I felt they have a very big problem I don't understand, and they're trying to make it look like it's something basic.
Yeah.
So I sent them. But the issue of someone having 2 uteruses,
Yeah.
that one is new. I've never heard about that.
People who have
For this
it
type
has
of
happened. Yeah, they are.
So what
if
happens
you do
to someone with
so
2
many
uteruses?
case studies, or if you do your research, you'll find that there are people who have been born with 2 uteruses.
So what happens? I'm sorry for
I think
for me.
they are mobile genetics. The way maybe you can be born with something else, the way you can be born, your heart is heteral out, genetic malformation. Yeah.
Okay, so so we talked about menstruation and whatever happens in between and all that, and the challenges that comes in during the menstruation period and all that. Now let's talk about menopause. When does it likely to start, and what are some of the signs that it's coming, and what happens after it has started?
Oh.
Because people just talk about menopause.
I can't wait to get to menopause. It's better you get pregnant, and then you experience the amenorrhea. Amenorrhea is the time you're getting not to have periods. It's better you get pregnant, and then you're saying, no, I'm not getting periods, because menopause is a great deal. When you're in menopause, number one, that is a hormonal surge. Some of the hormones have gone down or have been depleted. So like there are issues. There are hot flashes.
What do you mean by hot flashes?
Yani people just come saying that, nimekuwa nikihisi joto. Like they are fever.
Wananunua dawa za malaria. Hii joto ni ya malaria.
General body malaise. There's also bone issues, because
I told you to use layman's language. When you talk about malaise, what do you really mean? For people like you and
general
others
body weakness.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, general body weaknesses.
You're not talking to doctors alone. You're talking to
general body weaknesses, and also you can have bone issues.
That is joint issues.
No, even bone issues, not just joint, even in generally bones, whereby your estrogen is very, very important, not just within your uterus and shaping you as a woman, but also in bone health. Yeah.
So this is when people start trying to go for the counter medication. Nasikia magoti haina nguvu, mifupa ni kama mosquito ilinyuma jana.
Nasikia I'm weak, nasikia by the way, when people usually confuse when they are hitting menopause to other diseases. And until you get, do you know menopause, you have to experience a period of, you've told me not to use that language, a period of not having periods or menses for a whole year for me to say that you're in menopause. Yeah.
And it stops completely.
Yeah, like from month 1, no menses, month 2, month 6, month 8, month 10, month 12.
Then once it
Now
has
you're
stopped,
in month 13th. Now is when I'm saying now dada umeingia menopause.
na itaisha tu hivyo kabisa. It will never come back again.
If it comes back now, or if you're out there and you old age, let me not use old, sorry, you are advanced
They're
of age.
old. They're old.
Let's say advanced of age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and women don't grow old. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't grow old. So you have advanced age, and you find yourself that you're getting periods maybe at 50s, 55, 60. It's good also to get checked.
Because I've heard of the cases of where women of that age have got children.
Yeah, it's also good to get checked to see, is it that I'm having late menopause, or is it that I'm bleeding now because of other issues?
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Late menopause. So we also have late menopause.
Yes, as I said, the late menarche will lead to late menopause. The early menarche will lead to early menopause.
So what would you choose as a person? I'm sorry, it's too personal.
It's whatever chooses you.
Whatever chooses you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for laughing, women, but it's scary. It's scary. So you said that once you confirmed, like 1 year has elapsed, you're not receiving your menses, the 13th month, you can confirm that you are on your menopause, and that marks the end of you receiving your menses for the rest of your life until you go meet the Creator. So if you have been
declared you're menopausal or you're premenopausal, and then your periods come back, it's good to get checked. Also, another thing I know ladies have been ish about it is that cap pimple, the one you get down there once every month, or here once every month.
And especially
and
during
it's very
the time,
painful, right?
Yeah, it's especially during that time.
So yeah.
And most people are scared, but most people who understand what's happening don't have a problem.
They don't have a problem because immediately it goes.
There are some people will be going to treat a sexual transmitted infection because of that pimple.
Actually, that pimple doesn't go down there.
I know. Yeah. It's always somewhere.
It's in the pubis area.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are people who look at you like, hii imetoka wapi? Wewe ni kama...
Now, as a man, you should always understand that if it happens, not every person has it, but if it happens, don't push her, right?
Because that's what the next question was. Now, how can men come in to help women during this period?
So this period, if you see maybe your baby girl or woman has gotten you acne or the pimples you're talking about, just be supportive. If they're in pain, there's something we call heat therapy. There are those bottles you put hot water and you just patch, and you can even do a massage for her and also get her painkiller. Be supportive. If the mood changes, don't run away saying that my woman is rude, my woman is toxic. Just
you baby her.
Be understanding. Yeah.
You try to...
And actually get her an ice cream that time.
An
be
ice cream.
loving, yeah, an ice cream,
it
chocolate.
Helps. Does it help?
That sugar thing. No, the mentality actually.
But
heat therapy will help.
I thought it's a scientifically proven method of trying to...
Well, whatever she's craving during that moment.
So even that time you crave for things?
Yeah, you can crave for things. You can. It's mood, depending on the mood.
Oh, so that is where the cravings are okay, the introduction of cravings before you get married for
and
more cravings and cravings.
If she's craving money, just give her money.
Hey.
Right? Yeah.
Craving for money. Did you just say that? Men will run away from such a period that craves for money. Yes, I know every man will run away from such a period.
Not every time. Okay, anyway, I'm just kidding.
If money can make you feel okay, then
okay, I'm just kidding.
So men should be so much supportive. We're not laughing at this. We're not laughing at this because it's funny. We're laughing at it because
we want you to understand.
We want you to understand.
Yeah.
And get the gist out of it. So men should come in to support.
Yeah.
And the support that is needed is just being there for them at this time and understanding when it's happening, for you not to judge them or feel like they're not doing 1, 2, 3 for you and all that. But there are people who say this is the time that a woman needs a man so much.
So as I said, it's the mood, and remember these are hormones which are contributing you to getting those menstrual flow. So ensure that in case such happens, we're not saying it's actually Okay, personally, I find it's very unhygienic. But if you two are going to understand each other, go ahead and do it. But personally,
Yeah, there are
it's
those
good
who
to
are
give
okay
a
with
break.
that. There are those who are okay with that. Okay, in the comment section, tell us, are you okay with that, to do the stuff when it's happening that way, or you're not okay with that? I know many people say it's completely unhygienic,
Yeah.
but there are those crazy type
And
who
also, I've heard the thing that saying that time is usually moist. Remember, if you are a lady there and you have vaginal dryness, it's a condition. Get checked. Don't say that my nini is usually dry, so this time is the one that is wet
better.
or better. Ensure that you get checked if you are experiencing any vaginal dryness any other time.
One question that most people ask, not one question, but questions that most people ask within that time is when should someone get pregnant? Is it before, like if a woman wants to get pregnant, should she have an intercourse with a man before or after the menses, or maybe during the menses for them to get? Then the next question that you answer will be, there are these local ways of people trying to think they can get boys when it's beginning or when it's, there are those
Now,
myths.
when it comes to menstruation, is different from what ovulation is.
Mhm.
So, for example, let me talk about a person who is experiencing a 21-day woman, 21-day cycle woman, so that you can get to know what I'm talking about. I can even talk about the 28 and
That's
the
okay.
35. I will do the math right here with you guys. So, a 21-day woman cycle, or a 21-day cycle of a woman, if you're getting periods after every 21 days, this means that the first day, if you get period the first day is when you start counting. That's day 1 to day 2 to day 3 to day 4 to day 5, right? Maybe you're getting for 5 days your periods, but the first day is when the first day the flow starts. That is when you start counting your cycle. Okay, so the ovulation is 14th day to your menses. Okay, not from when I have started to your menses. So if you get today is date
Today's, let's guess 20, maybe to say today's 20th.
let's say today's 20th. So meaning that if I'm getting my periods today and I'm a 21-day cycle, meaning that I got my ovulation 14th day backwards. So 20th minus 14th. You get
That
that?
is 6th day, on 6th.
Yes, that is when my ovulation started. So that's when my fertility was. So in this case, it means that if I am having a 6-day menstrual flow, it means that even if the 6th day comes, if I'm a 21-day cycle, I'll be fertile. So I might be saying that, oh, I am having menses, so I won't get pregnant. But depends with your cycle, because in this case, you get pregnant if you have an unprotected sexual intercourse on the 6th day. You're getting that? If you are 28, on the other hand, you got your menses 14th day towards your 28.
That's
You
14th of that month.
If you are 35-day cycle, 35 minus 14, that is 21. You got on the 21st day of your cycle, your ovulation. We are talking about ovulation.
Yes, okay, how can a woman know that he's ovulating?
There are signs and symptoms.
What are they?
Okay, number 1 is during that period of ovulation, the sexual urge is usually on a high note. Number 2,
when they think this girl is on fire. It's okay.
The vaginal area is usually moist, and so allow me to use wet, because we usually say vagina is wet and moist and wet all. Yeah. Yeah.
It's juicy, okay. So those are the only 2 signs to show that she's
Not just
she's
the 2
ovulating.
signs. You can be having other signs depending on. You can
Individual.
even having individual.
So those are more of individual.
Yeah, so those are the one I've mentioned are general.
And do you think some people miss to get children because they can't really get their cycle?
Number one, of the regular cycle
Yeah.
and the timing of the time you're having, the intercourse. Yeah.
And they don't know, and that's why they miss it. Then they come claiming that so and so is important and all that.
Yeah.
So people should understand.
People should definitely understand.
So what's the last thing you wish them?
My last thing to wish you is happy holidays. We have started December, so happy holidays, and ensure that you stay safe. In case you have any questions, remember to go down there and write a comment on the questions you have, and also ensure to subscribe. We will deeply appreciate. And happy holidays again. This is Dr. Masi Mutahi on all platforms.
Until next time we meet, make sure the information you received goes to another person. Sawa sawa. That is how we do it. We love you all.